Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 2, Book 2, Rudra Samhita, Part 3, Chapter 38, Description of the Days in the Shiva Puran. Hariom Tat Sat. Brahma said, Then the Lord of Mountains, O excellent sage, attended to the decoration of the entire city, befitting the great festivities ahead. The roads were watered and swept clean. At every door, stumps of plantain trees and other auspicious symbols were fixed. The courtyard was established by plantain trees tied with silken cords. They were festoons of mango leaves, festoons with garlands of jasmine flowers, shown everywhere. Other articles of auspicious portent were fixed in every quarter. These and other things were carried out by Himavat for the sake of his daughter. Every activity was supervised by Garga of great ability. Everything auspicious, worth mentioning, found a place there. He called Vishwakarman and requested him to erect a large and spacious dais, beautiful with side rostrums, altars, etc. The dais, O celestial sage, was 10,000 yojanas wide. It was wonderfully constructed and had all the characteristic features. All the mobile and immobile objects of the world were represented there with realistic appearance. Everything was wonderfully portrayed. The mobile objects presented there surpassed the immobile ones, and the immobile ones surpassed the mobile ones in excellence. The watery places presented there excelled the solid grounds. Even experts could not distinguish what was water and what was solid ground. There was artificial lions. There were rows of storks. They were artificial peacocks, but very beautiful in appearance. Artificial women were represented as dancing with artificial men, casting wistful glances at them and enchanting them. Beautiful representations of gatekeepers with uplifted bows in their hands appeared like real originals. The statue of Mahalakshmi at the main entrance appeared like the goddess just emerged from the milk ocean. It was because all the characteristics were complete. Elephants with their mahouts and horses with their riders were so natural that none would say that they were artificial. Chariots were driven by charioteers, other vehicles by other drivers. They were foot soldiers too. All of them were artificial. O sage, Vishwakarman was so delighted that he made all these things to fascinate the visiting dignitaries, the gods and the sages. O sage, the statue of Nandi at the portals of crystalline purity and brilliance was a prototype of the real Nandi. Above that, there was the celestial chariot, Puspaka, decorated with sprouts. It shone with gods represented therein. On the left side, there were two huge saffron-colored elephants with 4 tusks and appearing to be of 60 years in age. They shone lustrously. There were 2 horses too, brilliant like the sun. They were bedecked in divine ornaments and other necessary embellishments. The guardians of the quarters were shown as adorned with the great gems. All the gods were portrayed by Vishwakarman realistically. Bhrigu and other sages, secondary gods, Siddhas and others were represented by Vishwakarman. A wonderful image of Vishnu with his attendants Garuda, and others, was created by him with wonderful features. I too was portrayed as surrounded by my sons, Vedas and Siddhas. On Narada, I was represented as reciting the hymns. An artificial image of Indra seated on Aryavata and accompanied by his attendants was made by him, looking as beautiful as the full moon. O celestial sage, of what avail is a long-drawn description? The gods were drawn by Vishwakarman, as desired by Himavat. The altar was erected by him with wonderful features, fascinating the gods and exquisite in form. On being commanded by the Lord of Mountains, the intelligent Vishwakarman created different abodes for the residence of the gods and others. Great couches of wonderful brilliance, very cozy and exquisite, were made by Vishwakarman for their sake. For the residence of Brahma, 7 wonderful abodes were created in a trice. They had great brilliance. A brilliant abode of Vishnu called Vaikunta, with wonderful features, was created in a trice. Vishwakarman created a wonderfully divine palace for the Lord of Gods, endowed with all riches. Wonderful mansions for the guardians of the quarters were erected by Vishwakarman. They were beautiful and large. Mansions of various kinds were built by him for the gods too. The highly intelligent Vishwakarman built everything very quickly for the preparation of Shiva, from whom he had secured great favors. Similarly, he erected Shiva's mansion of various shapes and of great brilliance. Having the symbol of Shiva, it was designated as Shivaloka. It was admired by all the gods. Thus, for appropriating Shiva, wonderful and very brilliant structures were erected by Vishwakarman, making all arrangements in accordance with worldly conventions. Himavat awaited eagerly for the arrival of Shiva. Thus, O divine sage, I have narrated the pleasing story of Himavat entirely. What else do you wish to hear? See if there's any footnotes. There's no footnotes in this chapter. Here ends today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Om Parupranaratam Vyomeshwaratam Jagannath. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.